All right. Now, speaking of that, Billy, you've been here 4 years. What's your signature dish?
Wow. The
I'll do it. What have you added to the menu that nobody could believe would be at Delmonico's after all this time?
Well, we do a lot of raw fish now. We do some raw hamachi. We do raw tuna. Thing that I like to say I added to Delmonico's is the menu changes very frequently now. It changes often. We have a halibut dish with farro, a farro risotto, which is a whole grain. So we've lightened it up a little bit, and now we're sourcing products locally. We're sourcing products from Long Island. We're sourcing products from Connecticut, New Jersey, which I like to say that I brought here back in the 80s, back before my time. People just kind of went with what they knew, and it was heavy, and like you mentioned, cream. We've lightened a lot of stuff up. That's what I like to say I brought to Delmonico's.
When we talk about things that started here, not just the menu items, I mean, you were the first restaurant to allow women to dine here.
Allow women to dine, allow women to, we were the first restaurant to hire a woman cashier as well.
Wow. Okay, but wait. First, tablecloths.
Tablecloths.
Who knew?
Yep.
Right?
Own your own private table. Back in the 1800s, everybody kind of sat at a communal table.
Now, you also just went through a bit of a problem with Sandy.
We did.
Tell me what happened.
We did. Well, it's a big restaurant. We have 2 floors. We had about 5.5 feet of water in the basement.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we were shut down for about 3 weeks.
Hey, Lower Manhattan means exactly that.
Yeah, Lower Manhattan. There were cars. I was down here the day after. There were cars floating around.
Wow. So you were closed. You had to be closed.
We were closed for about just about 3 weeks.
And what was destroyed?
We have the downstairs party rooms, which were recently renovated the year before.
Oh boy.
Everything destroyed right down to the bare brick. All my production kitchens were destroyed.
Oh, your prep kitchens.
Yeah. The main kitchen on the second floor was fine. Everything on the second floor was fine. So everything was replaced.
And you're back up now.
We're back up. Party rooms opened the first week of December.
Wow.
We had a lot of people doing a lot of work around the clock to get us back.
Exactly. So, I mean, but you weren't alone down here. This whole place got nailed down here.
Yeah. Some of the buildings, a lot of the office buildings now at the moment are still not back in swing. They won't be back until February, March.
Now, you were also the first restaurant, I find this interesting, to put hamburger on the menu?
We didn't invent hamburger, but
Right.
we were the first restaurant to put it on a printed menu. Yeah, which is amazing.
Now, what have you taken off the menu?
Wow.
We know what you put on it. What did you take off?
Most of the classics stayed.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've lightened things up, and we've tried to bring, like, chicken alla king is a perfect example. It was noodles, mushrooms, peas, and peppers. That's the recipe.
Right. And you didn't mess with that.
We did mess with it. We changed it. So noodles, to me, that's a dish that you can do at home.
Yeah.
So we don't want you to come to Delmonico's and get something you can cook at home. So
Kraft macaroni and cheese is not on the menu.
Absolutely.
Okay, just want to make sure, yeah.
There is an Alaskan king crab mac and cheese on the menu. With smoked Gouda.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, back in the 50s and 60s, I mean, this was a 3-martini lunch place,
Absolutely.
Right? That's changed.
That has changed big time.
So now what's the drink of choice today?
Wow, we have a great wine list, and we sell a lot of wine. So I'm going to say red wine is what we sell the most of here.
Yeah, red wine with that steak.
Yeah, you need it. You need it.
How many? A 20-ounce steak?
20 ounce.
Right.
It's not our largest steak.
Oh, no. What's the largest steak?
We do a 46-ounce porterhouse.
Does it come out with its own crane?
2.
Does it come out with its own crane?
That's for 2, and we do a 3-pound bone-in ribeye. It's called the Krupa steak.
A 3-pound?
Named after a customer that still comes here every day.
And how much does he weigh?
He's a big man.
Yeah, no kidding. Billy Oliva, the executive chef of Delmonico's. Hey, man, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm glad
and
you
that
came.
music means we're out of time for this hour. For those stations leaving us, have a great rest. But we're going to get a lot of stuff done today. We are at 888-887-3837 if you want to call me. You can also email me to peter@petergreenberg.com. Follow me on Twitter @PeterSGreenberg or on Facebook, Facebook.com/Peter Greenberg. And if you're wondering where we are, well, then get out your maps, boys and girls. 40 degrees, 42 minutes north, 74 degrees, 0 minutes west. We're coming to you from an iconic location in an iconic city. We're coming to you from the oldest restaurant in America, Delmonico's, right here in New York City. And lots of history there, which we'll be talking about throughout the show, especially when you consider it's been around, again, since 1837. It's 33 minutes after the hour. Peter Greenberg here with you on this first show of 2013, coming to you from Delmonico's, America's oldest restaurant. That's not just a brand, it's a fact. Opened in 1837. Taking your calls at 888-887-3837. That's 888-88-PETER. If you can't get through on the phones, you know the drill. You email me to peter@petergreenberg.com with your name, phone number, question, or problem. We'll solve it right here on the air. In fact, our next segment, we're going to deal right with those emails, and a lot of them from you, and some real interesting ones as well. When we talk about an iconic restaurant, and you add to that family-owned, it's quite a legend when you think about the fact that this restaurant goes back to 1837. And earlier in the show, we were talking to Billy Oliva, the executive chef, who talked about all the firsts. I mean, whether it was the lobster Newburgh or the eggs Benedict or the of course the Delmonico steak, and then of course baked Alaska. Who would ever have thought baked Alaska would have started in this restaurant? It's amazing. And so joining me now to give me a little bit more of the history of this place, because it's got a lot of history, and it's amazing to me, by the way. First of all, let me introduce you, then I'm going to tell you what's amazing to me. It's Dennis Tersinovic, who's the managing partner of Delmonico's. But here's my question to you, Dennis. So far on this show today, right? Every guest on this show, I've said to them, and they're all in New York. They all live here in New York, right?
Yes.
Have you been to Delmonico's? No. Yeah. Because it's like, how many people in New York have been to the Statue of Liberty? Not many, right? And yet, you pass it, you see it all the time. You can't fly to LaGuardia without going up the Hudson River and seeing the Statue of Liberty. Yeah. If you're on Wall Street, you're going to pass this restaurant.
You definitely will, yes.
So, how do you stay in business? Do you have a core group of customers that have come in year after year?
We do get the Wall Street, the brokers, the Wall Street crowd that come in for lunch. And
now, if the market drops, do they order differently?
No, not really, because
they order desperately.
Well, we do a lot of we have a lot of the insurance crowd in the neighborhood. There are different businesses here: construction, insurance, finance. So it really all depends. So we get a mix.
But can you actually gauge? I mean, honestly, I have to ask: can you gauge the market about how the economy is going by what they're ordering? You have to be able to do that.
I could,
based on the alcohol, I bet.
We can, yes, we can. What happens sometimes is it's if the market is really bad, sometimes it's really crazy because people come and drown their sorrows at our bar here. So in the booze. So it really all depends. And sometimes when the market is really good, it could be really quiet. It really depends.
But can you think of some of those milestone dates like October of '87, or when the market drops and then they have to suspend trading, or 2009? Something where you open the door and your maitre d' said, "Uh-oh."
Yes, what, it is a roller coaster ride for us, and it's been since Delmonico's first started in the early 1800s. We went through fires and Great Depressions and 9/11 and ups and downs in the economy, and we're still here. And what makes Delmonico special from every other place is it's so iconic and so famous that just people tend to flock to it when the time is right, when they have a couple extra dollars. So we do see the tourists, we do see the Bridge and Tunnel crowd come in as well. So it all
Wait
depends.
a minute, not the Bridge and Tunnel crowd.
Yeah, of course they come in.
You let them in?
We let them. We have to.
You have to. Making friends everywhere on this show.
Exactly,
okay.
Yes.
Well, when the tourists come in, do they all order the steak because they know about the steak?
Everybody typically eats Delmonico steak. I would say, we named the steak back in the 1800s. Actually, we created the term 86 that's in most of these restaurants.
I didn't. Now I love 86.
Okay, so term 86.
So basically, the Bridge and Tunnel crowd is the borderline getting 86.
Exactly, they're going to be exactly.
For those people who have never heard the term 86, that means when you get your what thrown out of the restaurant.
When you run out of something, or you throw somebody out, 86 him, or that's 86. The Delmonico steak there was a 200 menu item menu, and the 86th item was Delmonico steak, and it was so popular at the time, the demand was so high that they always ran out of it, so they always say it was 86th, so which the term comes from here. So
interesting. Okay, so what do you run out the most here?
We don't run out of the Delmonico steak here. But,
not anymore.
Typically we run out of fish because we order
everything daily.
Daily, and whenever we run out of it, we only keep the freshest product in. So,
is there one item that you've had on the menu that you finally said enough is enough? We're 86ing it forever.
We've had some items that are really tough to work with.
Like?
The chicken a la quinoa is a really tough dish to make.
Yeah, Billy was telling me that, right?
Yeah, we ended up, not that we 86'd it forever, but it's really hard to recreate.
It's on vacation.
Especially, it's on vacation for a while.
Yeah.
It'll come back.
And is there one item that people are always surprised that's on the menu? I was surprised, quite frankly, to learn about baked Alaska.
When people sit down, they're like, "Wow, they invented eggs Benedict, baked Alaska, lobster Newburg." Even when we had Regis Philbin here, he was in the neighborhood, so he just popped in for a quick bite to eat, and he's like, "I can't believe it." And the next morning, he was just like, "It's the first restaurant in America, the first."
Are you doing your Regis Philbin impression? You just did. You almost did. You almost did. Yeah.
So some people don't know. They get caught up. They're like, "Wow, this is the place where it was all created." So,
and yet you just had to survive Hurricane Sandy.
Hurricane Sandy was tough, very, very tough.
You got flooded out.
We got flooded out. Our lower level got about 5 feet, but we turned it over within 2 weeks. So
that's miraculous.
It's amazing. Just in time for the holiday season. We told all of our customers we'll be ready to go, so they'd come inspect the place, and the place looks beautiful, just as it was before.
It's amazing. I mean, since 1837, that's the thing that always amazes me. A lot of people, you see restaurant signs since 1975. You go, forget it.
Yeah.
But 1837, that makes you pay attention.
It does, yeah.
Wow.
We get a ton of these tour groups that come by, and they're always talking about the restaurant. I'm like, just such good promotion for us. So
it's not bad. Yeah. So you let the Bridge and Tunnel crowd still come in.
We do.
Okay, I won't tell anybody. Your secret's safe with me. Dennis Trusinovec, the managing partner of Delmonico's. And I'm telling you, it's always fun to be down here, especially when you learn the history. Back with more of Peter Greenberg Worldwide right after this.